G'day everyone and welcome to my coverage of the 15th Annual Narrow Gauge Convention that was held in Melbourne from the 7th to 9th of April in 2023. Now, personally, this is the first time I've ever been to a convention over a traditional model railway exhibition. And the Narrow Gauge Convention focuses on, well, you probably guessed it by now, narrow gauge railways. So as a bit of background, the Australian Narrow Gauge Convention has been a rallying point for narrow gauge modellers since 1996. The convention has flourished on the sharing of ideas, techniques, knowledge and enthusiasm for narrow gauge railways. Although this convention was a 3-day event, I was only able to attend the Saturday, which provided a full day of clinics and the opportunity to view the layouts and trade stands, as well as view the contestant models and photographs, and of course to discuss all things narrow gauge. Now let's have a look at what the convention featured. There were a number of dedicated clinics, such as the Walhalla Railway, concepts for bush tramway models, an insight into CAD modelling, prototype references to model workhorse, fantastic false fronts and other inspirations, proto-steam Wi-Fi throttle, freelance modelling ideas of the Apple Cove and Cinnamon Port, scenery below the tree line, painting figurines, battery-powered radio control for DCC, a clinic on micro layouts, lessons learned from building a large layout, a layout presentation of building the Kinmont and winch number 3, modelling ideas and techniques from concept to model, a career as a narrow gauge enthusiast, a layout presentation of Port Jackson and what it could have been, realistic layout photography, 3D printing and railway modelling, experiencing Welsh narrow gauge railways and rail fanning in the digital age, plus a few more. As well as the clinics, there were also layouts, starting with Apple Cove, an Owen 30 layout. This quaint and colourful waterfront setting is populated with a great array of structures and mini-scenes. The railway weaves its way through the township and the tree-lined landscape, providing a connection to a busy wharf. The compact layout demonstrates how plentiful modelling opportunities can be incorporated into a restricted size. Kinmont, which is a compact Owen 30 layout built by Dan Pickard, capturing the essence of the Australian bush. The scenery is the dominant feature, with the peaceful landscape only interrupted by the occasional passing train. Since its debut at the last Australian Narrow Gauge Convention, fellow operator David Prince, who has contributed an additional module, which is winch number 3. To complement the Kinmont module and add further running opportunities. The 7mm scale Fish Creek Tramway, which was a layout inspired by Mike McCarthy's book In the Shadow of the Prom, Early South Gippsland Times, Tales and Tramlines. This is a layout that is a work in progress. Another work in progress layout was Aberlourvney, a portrait of a lost past, which is based on the Chorus Railway before it turned into light rail trams. Built to 7mm scale using track at 16.5mm. It is mainly scratch built and all the slate walls and station buildings are either hand scribed or hand laid using colour plaster. Tequila Ferrocarril, a micro adventure in both Owen 30 and Owen 18, or How to Have Fun Again model railroading. This layout is on 3 levels with 3 trains running, and it's really busy, even though it's only a small layout, which is only 54 by 24 inches. This layout represents a tequila farm, as well as a port scene, which is still a work in progress. HO30 layout gravel road, which is a micro layout, which is only 600 by 270 mil, showing that even with only a little display space at your disposal, you can build a functional narrow gauge layout packed with scenery detail. Grampians Model Railroad has had Port Franklin in ON30, which is set in the mid-1900s. It captures the life and times that our pioneers faced in the rugged terrain to obtain resources from the forest and development of rural communities. This layout began life as Mountain Ash, built by John Hunter, with modellers from the Grampians Club restoring it. The smallest of the layouts was Monbulk Creek. This layout is 1 in 350th scale and is a version of the well-known trestle bridge at Puffing Billy. These micro trains run using a linear motor drive system rather than conventional propulsion. The small scale opens up some very different scenic opportunities with the ability to model a much broader landscape in an ultra-compact space. Seven mm layout Eddington Quay, representing a 2¼ inch gauge line. On the quay there are fish processing factories, whilst at the other end of the quay there is a small engineering work that services a local fishing fleet. And lastly, the layout, the points. The layout features a number of scratch-built rail tractors that were found hard at work in the deep Australian bush. A note should be made that half of the tracks on this layout are actually wood, and that they use radio control to operate the locomotives. There was also figure painting demonstrations from Ian, who has painted thousands of figures throughout his modelling life and currently offers a very popular figurine painting service. And he was there to tell you all about tips and techniques on how to paint figures in a variety of scales. As well as that, there's also a CAD and 3D printing demonstration. There were also dioramas in various scales by Richard, which was some incredible works of art. And GN15 layout Batislav Power Station, which is also a work in progress. As well as that, there were also trade stands from Narrow Gauge Down Under, Scale Model Co Hobby Centre from Thornlea in New South Wales, Brunel Hobbies, Kieran Ryan Models, the Light Railway Research Society of Australia, Argyle Loco Works, and Broad Gauge Models. So here's my takeaway from the event. I think it was excellent. This kind of event is something that I feel like I should have gone to earlier, and it's exactly what I think has been missing from perhaps the traditional model railway exhibition. The calibre of modelling itself is top shelf. Incredible works of art, but with the people who have constructed it there to talk to you about how they did it. The seminars on specific topics was also excellent. It was almost informal in the way they run it, with it all being open for discussion and questions and conversations happening, well, during and even after the talks. Now, onto the tickets for this event. Full registration, which included full access to the convention and access to all the clinic presentations, a copy of the 15th Annual Narrow Gauge Convention Handbook, which is 200 pages, as well as having access to all the layouts, displays and trade stands, as well as the convention contest room, which registered attendees could submit a model or a photograph, as well as being able to place votes for the contestant entries. Lunch was also provided each day, plus tea and coffee provisions were available all weekend, with a weekend ticket costing $150 or the Saturday only at $100. As well as the option for accompanying juniors or partners at $50. There was even an optional extra for the awards dinner on the Saturday, which was hosted at the nearby Mulgrave Country Club, which included a carvery buffet dinner, the awards presentation, and as well as a guest speaker. So although this was aimed specifically at narrow gauge, I think modelers of any scale, era, or prototype would benefit from attending conventions like these. The Narrow Gauge Convention is held every 2 years, and I will certainly be making the effort to attend the next one. However, in between now and then, there are other conventions happening throughout Australia, like the upcoming NMRA convention happening in Sydney later this year, the South Australian Convention, the New England and the N-Scale conventions also happening in 2024, just to name a few. Personally, I think I actually preferred this type of event. It was more hands-on, more information-based and, well, specific. And I took a lot away from the day at the Narrow Gauge Convention, and I don't think I've ever come away from a model railway event feeling so inspired or fired up to get into building something. So a huge well done to the organisers for putting on this event, and I can only encourage more people to look at attending something like this in the future. And if it is something you are interested in attending in, of course I will leave all the appropriate links in the description below. So of course, if you do have any thoughts on an event like this, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming along and taking a look at the 15th Annual Australian Narrow Gauge Convention, and I'll be back with plenty more videos soon. Hooroo!